Hello grade 8, how are you today? In this video we are going to continue our lesson the last part of the lesson which is talking about simplifying non-perfect squares. شايفين the title. Okay, so we'll simplify in this lesson non-perfect squares. What do you mean by non-perfect squares? أول شيء let's remember what do you mean by perfect squares. بعدين we remember what do you mean by non-perfect squares. اوكي هلا perfect squares اللي احنا حكينا عنهم قبل احنا بنعرفهم اللي هن 1 مثل ما شايفين قدامنا 4 9 16 25 36 49 64 81 100 which is 10 square. More perfect squares يلي هن 11 square 121 144 169 هلا no need to memorize all of them, just memorize the first column and it's good. Okay, and if you memorize till 144 169 so it's also very good. Okay, so as you see there are a lot of perfect square numbers. هودي كلهم هن perfect square numbers. Okay, طيب هلا what if we have a non-perfect square? What if we have a non-perfect square? So أول شيء we need to memorize, okay, before we start the lesson we need to memorize some ideas يلي هن factors. What do I mean by factors of a number? Okay, طيب factors are the numbers you multiply together to get a product. يعني for example the product of 24 has several factors like 24 equal 1 times 24, 24 is 2 times 12, so you start thinking about two numbers when you multiply together to get 24. 1 and 24, 1 times 24 is 24, 2 times 12 is 24, 3 times 8 is also 24, okay, 3 times 8, 4 times 6 is also 24, and if you continue by 5 times nothing gives 24, 6 times 4, so we have 6 times 4, so we stop. So the factors are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, and 24. Okay, we need to remember these ideas before we start our lesson, then we need to use them. Okay, let me continue by another example. How to find factors, start with 1 times the number and try 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, and when you repeat your factors, cross out the repeat, you are done at this point. If you get a double, for example 4 times 4, then you are done. Repeat all doubles, let you know you are done. If you are done, stop searching about more factors like this. مثلا, what are the factors of 16? Showing the factors the 16. The factors of 16 are 1 times 16. Okay, 1 times 16, 2 times 8, and 3 times what gives 16? There is nothing to multiply by 3 to get 16, so we don't have, so we continue. 3 is not a factor. 4 times 4, yes, it is 16. When we reach a double, so we stop. So the factors are 1, 2, 4, 8, and 16. Those are the factors of 16. Okay, factors of 18. What are the factors of 18? خلينا نشوف. أول شيء 1 times 18 gives 18. Usually start by 1. 2 times 9 equal 18. 3 times 6 equal 18. 4 times nothing gives 18. 5 times nothing gives 18. 6 times 3, so I reach 3 times 6, 6 times 3, so I stop. So the factors are 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, and 18. Those are the factors of 18. طيب, you'll ask yourself a question, what is the benefit of studying factors? Just I'll ask a question here. Okay, look at the factors اللي هن 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 18. Okay, طيب, فيهن شي perfect square هدول؟ فيهن 9. Yes, 9 is a perfect square. Okay, I'm searching about the factors and exactly or especially on the factor who's a perfect square اللي هو 9. Okay, هلا ليه؟ لأنه هيدا we will use it later on in the lesson. Okay, let's continue. What are the factors of 7? No, 7 is a prime number, so no factors of 7. The factors of 7 are only 1 and 7. Now simplifying a perfect square. Okay, there's something called rationalizing or simplifying a perfect square, which is the same meaning. Okay, so when I say simplify or rationalize, يعني approximately they have the same meaning till now in this stage. So we are going to simplify the radical or the square root as much as possible. For example, what is the square root of 18? Ask yourself. Sorry, of 20. 20 is a perfect square? No, it's not a perfect square. So 20 is not a perfect square. There is nothing, you make it square to get 20. Okay, look at the table. You'll not find 20 in the perfect squares table اللي هو أخذناه بالأول. Okay, so what should we do now? يعني أنا إذا حطيت لك radical 20, how do you simplify it? Okay, think about perfect squares. What are يعني that are factors of 20. Okay, the only perfect square factor is 4. ليه؟ لأنه أنت شو هن الفactors of 20؟ 1 times 20 gives 20. 2 times 10 gives 20. 3 times nothing. 4 times 5 gives 20. The only perfect square factor is 4. Okay, so I write 4 times 5 equal 20. Okay, so what should we do? أو شو هي الرول? We write radical 20 as radical 4 times 5. صح؟ لأنه هلا 4 times 5 equal to 20. Okay, and also 10 times 2 is equal to 20, but I don't write it. I need a factor يلي هو بيكون perfect square يلي هو 4. Okay, so 4 times 5 gives 20. Okay, so I write radical 20 as radical 4 times 5 اللي هي it gives the same. Radical 4 times 5, we took it before, is equal radical 4 times radical 5. Okay, and now radical 5, we keep it the same. Radical 4 is equal to 2. So I know that, okay, I know that the square root of 4 is equal to 2. So we can write radical 20 as 2 radical 5. Okay, so we continue in that way. So radical 20 equal radical 4 times 5 equal radical 4 times radical 5. هيدي property أخذناها. ورadical 4 أنا بكتبها 2. Okay, this is what يعني this is the reason يلي خلاني أشوف يعني perfect square number. Okay, أو perfect square factor. Okay, يلي هو ال 4. So 2 radical 5, خلاص finished. Let's take another example to understand it more. For example, find radical 48. Okay, how do we write أو how يعني كيف بدنا نعمل simplify ل radical 48. now we list the factors of 48. Okay, إذا بدنا نعمل له list لل factors of 48. Okay, شو هن ال factors of 48؟ 1 and 48. أول شي 48 is not a perfect square. Think of all the perfect square factors. Okay, يعني أنت رح تلاقي ال perfect square factors. أنت you need to list the factors of 48. Okay, I have 16 times 3 48 عندي 4 times 12 48. Okay, هلا إذا بدنا نعمل list هيك على جنب ال 48 يعني the factors of 48 فينا نلاقي ال factors okay easily. ماشي, and let me try to write the factors of 48 here. Okay, هيدا ال 48. Let me try and just write the factors of 48. شو هن ال factors del 48? Okay, I think you can see picture well. Okay, so the factors of 48 هن 1 and 48. 2 times what gives 48? 2 times 2 times 24. 1 48 2 24 they are not perfect squares. طيب let me search about 3 times what gives 48 3 times 16 يعني هيدي فيك تعملها انت على الكالكوليتر بكل بساطة بتعمل 48 divide by 16 بيطلع لك 3 times 16 gives 48 so I have 16 شفتوا يعني من غير ما اكمل I have 16 16 is a perfect square okay فيك انت تعمل 4 times 12 okay 5 6 كمل 6 times 8 okay so 6 times 8 48 so the factors let me list the factors here the factors are 1 2 3 4 5 no 6 7 لا 8 yes 8 12 16 24 و 48 طيب مين البيرفكت سكوير فيهم؟ مين هو اللي اخذناه هو البيرفكت سكوير؟ بيرفكت سكوير هو الوحيد ال 16 okay so 16 times 3 gives 48 so I write 48 radical 48 as radical 16 times 3 okay بكتب ال 48 as 16 times 3 يعني هي القصة سهلة بس نعمل الفاكتورز we search on the factors about a square number أو about I mean يعني perfect square اللي هو 16 and I write it 3 times 16 okay I got it from here من هون okay طيب so radical 48 equal radical 16 times 3 شفتوا من جبتها من هون طيب 16 is a perfect square so it is radical 16 times radical 3 هيدي property أخذناها من قبل and then radical 16 is 4 so it is 4 radical 3 this is the idea بس هيدي هي كل القصة okay so this is what do I mean by finding the factors وبعدين من الفاكتورز أنا بلاقي perfect square so I write it in that way okay وبكتب radical 16 as 4 so it's 4 radical 3 this is called the simplest form أو يعني هو بالسؤال بيقول لي simplify as if as possible so this is 4 radical 3 I can't do anything more ما في أعمل أي شيء زيادة بس هيدا هو المطلوب مني إنه أعمل هيدي الطريقة okay طيب let me go to another question for example radical 200 look at radical 200 شايفين هاي 200 طيب 200 is not a perfect square so I list the factors of 200 and not necessarily all the factors okay so I start by 1 times 200 2 times 100 دغري لما اشوف 100 stop يعني don't continue اذا بدك تكمل بتلاقي لها شي 50 فاكتور لهيدي 200 بس ما بدنا نحن when I reach a square number so I stop او perfect square شايفينه هيدا perfect square اللي 100 okay so I write radical 200 okay هيدا خلينا نحطه بالاخضر so 2 times 100 ركزوا لي على هيدي 2 times 100 so radical 200 is equal to radical 2 times 100 أو 100 times 2 هي نفسها يعني طيب radical 100 times 2 it is equal to radical 100 times radical 2 طيب radical 100 is 10 so it is 10 radical 2 and this is fine okay and this is fine هيدا كل شيء فإذا بس خلصت فإذا it's 10 radical 2 so I repeat it again you can skip if you understood 200 I search the first step I search the factors about the factors of 200 so it is 1 times 200 2 times 100 when I find a perfect square so I stop يعني يمكن إذا أنت ما لقيت perfect square بتكمل مثل ما عملنا قبل شوي okay يعني قبل شوي شو عملنا at the beginning كتبنا 1 times 48 بعدين 2 times 24 ما لقيت ولا perfect square من هدول 48 24 بعدين كملت 3 times 16 16 is a perfect square so stop here يعني not need to continue بس أنا كملت لأشرح لكم كيف okay طيب so I'll take another example more and more examples radical 50 50 خلينا نشوف هيدي ال 50 how do we write it okay يعني بدنا نلاقي البرفكت او السكوير روت لل 50 يلا So 50 1 times 50 is 50. 2 times 25 is also 50. But 25 is a perfect square, so I stop. 25 is a perfect square. ايه لان 5 times 5 انا بعرف. انتم ما لازم تعرفوها كمان. اوكي اكيد. فاذا I write radical 50 is radical 25 times 2. من بجيبها from here. 25 times 2 is radical 25 times radical 2. Okay, so 25 is here. I did 25. Okay, and radical 25, I know that it's 5, so the answer is 5 radical 2. Final answer is 5 radical 2. فإذا هيدي الطريقة. أول شيء بجيب الفاكتورز بس تلاقي square root بس تلاقي قصدي I mean perfect square in the factors I stop. Okay. بس تلاقي 25 يعني هي square perfect square I stop باخد هيدي كلها وبكتبها بدل ال 50 يعني radical 50 بتصير 25 times 2 بعدين بعمل split للradicals لأنه I have times أكيد فإذا radical 25 بتصير 5 radical 2. This is the simplest form. هيدا أكتر شيء فيي أعمله. More than this I can't do anything. Okay? طيب. Okay, so let's continue to another examples. طيب, I think I'll give you some time to write 3 radical 50 أو to think about 3 radical 50. هلا هون بيختلف عن اللي أخذناهم قبل شوي. اللي أخذناهم قبل شوي هن كانوا like that. Okay. كانت بس مثلا 200 100 radical 200 اللي أخذناه قبل شوي radical 50 بس هون 3 radical 50 يعني بيفرق إنه I have a number here. Okay. يعني أنا عندي number فوق ال 3 radical 50. Okay, so what should I do here? أنا شو في أعمل here? So radical 50 نفس الشيء. هلا 3 radical 50 يعني هلا أخذنا هون radical 50 in the previous one. طيب هلا 3 radical 50. Okay, طيب I think I'll give you time to think about 3 radical 50. يعني أنا شو بدي أعمل فيها؟ أنا بدي أشوف radical 50. أنت try to do radical 50. Pause the video and try to do radical 50 alone. اللي هي عملناها قبل شوي بس أنت ارجع اعملها مرة ثانية. يعني alone it's better. Okay. طيب this example يلي هو 3 radical 50 I need to think about radical 50 alone. يعني بخلي 3 على جنب وباخد الراديكال 50. اوكي طيب radical 50 هعملها مثل ما عملنا قبل شوي. So 25 times 2. Okay, so 3 radical 50. Okay, 3 radical 50 equal 3 times radical 25 times 2. Okay, يعني أنا هون عم باخد 3 alone والradical 50 I'm working on. Okay, so radical 50 is equal to 3 times 2. هيا شفتوها 25 times 2, so it's equal 3 times radical 25 times radical 2. يعني لاحظت شو صار هون؟ radical 50 كتبناها radical 25 times 2 وال3 خليتها outside هيدي times ها. بعدين 3 times radical 25 times radical 2. طيب radical 25 is 5. Okay, و3 times 5 هي 15. ماشي؟ فإذا it is 15 radical 2 and we are done. هيك نكون خلصنا. هرجع عيدها بسرعة. 3 times radical 50 I'm working on radical 50. يعني أنا في خلي 3 على جنب في اشتغل بالراديكال 50 لحالها بعدين أعملها times 3. فإذا radical 50 اللي شايفينها بالأحمر هي 3 times radical 25 times 2 equal 3 times radical 25 times radical 2. هون حطيت لكم radical 25 بالجرين لأنه عشان عملت لهم split وبنفس الوقت radical 25 صارت لحالها times radical 2 لحالها. طيب radical 25 هي 5 check. فإذا it is 3 times 5 times radical 2. 3 times 5 is 15 so it's 15 radical 2 and it's done. Okay, هيك بنكون خلصنا. Okay. طيب ناخذ another example. Another example اللي هو simplify 3 radical 50 plus 7 radical 2 minus radical 200. أنا شو بدي أعمل here؟ يعني ما تخافوا منها، هيدي سهلة كتير. أنا بعمل كل وحدة لحالها وبعدين بعمل له الآن آخر شيء. أوكي؟ خلينا نشوف. أول شيء 3 radical 50 equal 3 times radical 25 times 2 equal 3 times radical 25 times radical 2، يعني هي نفسها اللي عملناها قبل شوي. So it's equal 3 times 5 radical 2 equal 15 radical 2. هيدي مين؟ هيدي 3 radical 50. طيب هلا radical 200 كمان أنا بدي حطها لحالها، يعني كل وحدة بعملها ألون لحتى ما غلط فيهم بعدين. Okay؟ طيب radical 200 equal radical 100 times 2. check. So it's equal radical 100 times radical 2. طيب radical 100 okay, radical 100 is equal to 10. So it is 10 radical 2 like this. Okay. هاي خلصنا تاني واحدة radical 200. طيب 7 radical 2 ما في أعمل لها شيء أنا، it's أصلا simplified لأنه هي radical 2، يعني 2 ما في عندها factors غير 1 و itself. So I keep it. Okay. طيب at the end I need to add them. طيب 3 radical 50 plus 7 radical 2 minus radical 200 equal to what? Equal to 15 radical 2. هيدي لحالها. اوكي يعني 3 radical 50 هي 15 radical 2 انا جبتها من فوق. 7 radical 2 خليتها زي ما هي. radical 200 كتبناها 10 radical 2 مثل ما شفنا، يعني شفتوا كيف انا كتبتهم اول ستيب، كتبت كل وحده لحالها. اخر شيء خليت كتبتهم كل وحده بالsimplified form تبعها، يعني بكتبها بهيدي الطريقه. so radical 200 is 10 radical 2. بعدين اخر ستيب بعمل له simplify. شو بصير في عندي؟ 15 radical 2 plus 7 radical 2 minus 10 radical 2. هي كمان اخذناها من قبل. كيف بنعمل add اذا كان عندي radical 2 كل مره؟ اذا بعمل 15 plus 7 قد بتصير 22 minus 10 يعني هي 12 radical 2. Okay, 12 radical 2 and by that نكون خلصنا الكويستشن وطلع كتشي. اوكي فاذا نحن بالبراكتسنج اكيد بدنا نمشي ستيب باي ستيب. يعني انا الاكسرسايز خليتهم يكونوا يعني increasing order of levels. يعني اول شيء خليت يعني اسئله بسيطه، بعدين شوي شوي بس تعودوا عليهم بصيروا كتير سهلين. هلا try to do radical 150 radical 63 radical 162. okay so try to do radical 150. You may pause the video and use your copybook to write 150 and I'll be with you here. So 150, start writing. Please follow me step by step. In your copybook, start writing 150, the factors of 150. شو هن الفاكتورز لل 150؟ 150, 2 times 75 I think, 3 times 50 يعني بعدني ما لقيت ولا square number. 4 times so you'll search in your calculator. okay so 150 it's not divisible by 4, so by 5 I think. 150 30 times 5. okay 30 times 5. so if we divide 150 by 6 we get 25. شفتوا we get 25. so شو صار معي أنا لقيت square number I stop. يعني أنا بلشت بال1 1 times 150 2 times 75 3 times 50 بعدني ما لقيت ولا square number. 4 ما لقيت. 5 times 30 كمان no. 6 times 25 is 150. okay so I use 6 times 25 equal 150. so radical 150 you write it radical 6 times 25. I'll not write it, I'll let you write it in your copybooks. so radical 150 equal radical 25 times 6 equal radical 25 times radical 6 and radical 25 is 5, so it is 5 radical 6. That's it. Right. Let's go now to 63. 63, also write in your copy books. The factors of 63 are 1 and 63, 2 and nothing, Mafi, check. Yeah, I think you are writing now. 3 times. 3 times what gives 63? I think 3 times 21. Yes, 3 times 21. So لحد هلا ما في عندي ولا square number. طيب 4 times nothing, 5 no, 6 no, 7 I think 7 times 9. 7 times 9 gives 63. Type 7 times 9. Okay, so stop here. What if? ليه؟ لأنه عندي 9. 9 is a square number. It's a perfect square. So I stop. Okay, طيب radical 63 equal radical 9 times 7. And radical 9 times 7 equal radical 9 times radical 7. Okay, radical 9 is equal to 3, so it is 3 radical 7. يعني آخر شيء بنكتب 3 radical 7 and I think it's done. طيب 162, also 162. Okay, 162. I let you solve it alone and I'll not show you the answer. You may go to the lecture, okay, and find the answer from there. So to check your answer if it's right or wrong. This is everything. This is our lesson, nothing to do more. Okay. Try to solve all the exercises in the worksheet, and of course, as usual, if you have any question, never hesitate, ask me any question you have. Okay, this is everything. Thank you and bye bye.